Well, I got my friend Tim here, all the way from Oklahoma. Finally get to meet you after all these years.
It's glad to be out of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It hasn't been very good to me.
That's true. Yeah, so what do you think?
I am really impressed with the inside of this house.
Last time I talked to you was I in the camper or moving into the RV?
You were in the camper.
Yeah. Then I got the RV, and then I built the house. I built a tiny house. This started I started demolishing the trailer in July, I think it was, and then started building in August. And now the winter...
How long did it take you to do this?
What you see here is 3 months of work.
It's a lot of work, especially but you did this all by yourself?
No, I had raising the walls, raising the framing, I couldn't do alone.
That's a pain in the butt.
Doing the insulation on the roof, I could not do alone. There's no other people can, not me. I couldn't do it. There's no way. And then
especially over that hard part.
Yeah.
You need someone else to hold it.
Plus, it's sort of dangerous, and I don't like to. I'm out here. You saw how far I'm from the road.
Yeah, and if you fall on that wood stove, you're kind of screwed.
Well, if I get hurt anyway, I'm done. There's nobody going to hear my screams. Nope. The nearest house is a quarter-mile away, so.
That's true.
Anyway, yeah, so pretty much what you see here was done in 3 months. Everything was on hold for the winter because all my wood was under ice and snow. We had an ice storm in December, and it never melted this year, which is rare. Usually we have snow, then a melt, then snow, then a melt. I figured I'd knock out that entire barnwood pile this year throughout the winter. That was going to be my winter project. Sort it all out into pallets. But we had an ice storm, dumped an inch of ice, literally an inch of ice, and then snow, and then it kept building up. And as you see, it's still not gone. And we got snow right now. It's snowing now.
It's end of March.
Yeah, it's the end of March. The weather this year is really off. And that's why people are shocked. They said, well, didn't you know it was going to snow? Well, yeah, but it usually melts, and then snows, then melts. It's cycles. I remember, my first years when I moved to New York in February running around in a t-shirt all the time.
Oh, because it's cold here in Michigan?
Yeah, it's colder in Michigan, yeah. But not only that, but I mean, it wasn't that cold. And in the last couple of years, we've had snow up till the end of March. So it's been extreme. Well, anyway, all my construction materials were outside.
That's a pretty cool-ass little post right there. Where did that come from, the barn?
That's the barn.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Where'd you get all these 2x4s?
Okay, the framing, I bought. All right?
That's smart. That way it's brand new.
Yeah.
Is it pressure treated?
Well, it's... Yeah, baby cat. She does that. That's her thing. Standard lumberyard wood. Kiln treated. Kiln dried.
What's that?
Standard lumberyard. Just careful. Okay, she's good. Oh, she likes you. That's rare. Baby,
Most animals
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
Yeah, she was nervous. She's shedding.
Yeah, that's... So, yeah, anyway, the walls were blackened, rotted scrap lumber. I shaved off the rot and took what was good, and that's what you see.
This paneling?
That is homemade paneling out of 2x4s. I ran them on a table saw, believe it or not. Long ways through a table saw.
That's a pain in the butt.
It was a lot of work.
John,
the guy that helped me, said it's never going to happen. He said this is not going to happen. You can't do it. He came over the next week, like a few days later, and I had this wall done. He couldn't believe it. I have that on video. His first reaction when he walked in the door was great. He couldn't believe it. He didn't think I'd do it. And then above your head is not finished. I do have the wood I'm going to finish it with now. I got it drying. That's barn wood.
Oh, that's cool.
The coat rack is barn wood.
Did you actually make that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's all from that barn pile. And then all my shelving, I'm going to have shelving on this wall, and over there, and up here. And then you can see I started with antique. This is all going to be antique decor. So it's going to be rustic, all wood, with antique decorations. Here, this is a real working stove. It's an oven. It goes on the wood stove. I use this to cook with all winter.
Are you serious?
I cook pizzas in here and bread and everything in here. Yeah.
That's cool.
I paid $20 for that in an antique shop. It's a tin oven. Sits on the wood stove and I bake with it. This, I paid $35 for this 3 years ago.
Is that like real food in that?
No, that's just a candle.
Oh, okay.
I paid this. This is fully functional Singer sewing machine from
My mom used to have one of these for foot pedal.
Foot Pedal.
Yeah.
I paid $35 for it, mint condition,
That is cheap.
years ago, 3 years ago. Kept it up in the landlady's house, and I just finally brought it in. So I've been gathering. This has been my dream, to have a place of my own, to have this rustic look, and to put my antiques in. I've always collected antiques since I've been in New York. Well, actually, since I was in Germany, but I had to leave them behind. The table was free. The chairs were free. The couch was free. Craigslist.
It's pretty cool.
All Craigslist.
This was free?
Yeah, the couch. That's a leather couch.
Oh, for the cats, yeah.
Yes. I found out that cats love to scratch leather.
Probably because it's animal skin.
I don't know, but they tore it up. The door was free. The windows were free. All the windows downstairs were free. The upstairs windows I only paid, I think, $50 for.
Where'd you get that little fan? That's like an RV fan or something.
Yeah, actually,
Is it
somebody
DC?
donated me the money on and told me to buy it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's off eBay. Yeah, it's a DC 12-volt fan.
Are you still running a 12 volt or 24 volt system?
Everything's 12 right now. The panels are 24, but the batteries are 12.
That's the MPPT charge controller down there?
Yep, that is.
Cool. I'm actually going to be buying land soon. Probably with about a year from now. I'm still doing research on where I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can
New
sort of
New
steer
York-
you towards it.
Man, there's too many laws in New York. It's overtaxed.
I
Gun
know.
laws suck here.
It is hard.
You can't have an AK-47 here. You can't.
I know.
You can't have anything that's fun.
I
Like
know.
Massachusetts.
They got a new AR-15 style gun that's New York legal.
Massachusetts is almost as bad, but
Michigan, well, see, that's the thing. I have the beauty of it. Is I always go home to my parents and I can do whatever I want. I've got freedom. So now with my new tactical channel, I'll do the fun stuff in Michigan.
that's smart. I'm thinking about New Hampshire because you know they got that whole movement towards New Hampshire, and anywhere East Coast is really nice. This is for telling people on there.
Yeah.
Because the soil is so much better compared to, this is my personal opinion, it's so much better compared to the rest of the country. Now, like Idaho has some really nice soil, but they don't get as much rainfall as the East Coast.
True.
And yeah, and it's also really alkaloid as well, where it's more acidic here.
This is perfect here.
Oh, it is absolutely,
Great.
it is perfect, and there's a lot of rain. The only problem with like the northeast part of the country around here is it's more expensive. Unless you're going to Maine, is really cheap, but the electricity is expensive, so you pretty much have to go off grid if you go to Maine. I used to live in Maine actually, and you get temperature extremes from like -40 in the wintertime. Not many times it's been there. Have you ever been where it's so cold your eyeball freezes open? You're just walking around, you're like,
I never had
you're
that,
like,
but I've had
like you start blinking
I've
again.
had icicles off my nose.
Yep, I've had
I
those,
literally
like-
throw them away.
Yeah. When you get the ones like
Oh
this.
yeah, especially if you had a mustache. That
It's
becomes a
noxicals.
mess. Yeah.
It's noxicals.
I literally, I break them off and throw them away. In Michigan, working in, I was so tough in Michigan because I lived there. I grew up there. I was working on my Camaro. I had a '79 Camaro, and I was out in a t-shirt in 20-degree weather working on that car and just breaking off the icicles off my nose as I worked. It was that cold out, but I was used to it. It was my home.
I'm used to Oklahoma, where it's like Southwest Oklahoma, where it's like 116 in the summer, 117 in the shade sometimes, and then you got like a 30-mile-an-hour wind. So normally if the wind is below body temperature, generally it tends to cool you off, but
Yeah,
when it's
right.
above body temperature,
It's worse.
It's terrible.
No, that's no good.
With full humidity too,
Yeah.
and that's in the shade.
Oh, the humidity. Forget it. I couldn't live there.
Oh, it's miserable.
I couldn't live there.
And
Then
everything's
you'd love
brown.
this. We get 80 to 90 degrees, sometimes on a rare occasion up to 100, but we get 98% humidity.
Yeah, and people are like, oh, it's a heat wave, it's 85, 90. I'm like, pfft.
No, I can't take the humidity.
Go
I'll tell you what, right now, it's 79 degrees in here, but only 15% humidity. I'm comfortable. I'll tell you what, 79 degrees in the summer with 60% humidity and above, I'm dead.
Well, it depends if your body's acclimated to it or not.
I've been here 8 years. Just, no, I can still go out.
But you're also waking up when it's like 35, and your body's used to your 35-degree camper, so you're used to producing more heat. So you're not as good as getting rid of the heat.
That's true. I mean, in winter, I had to be tough last couple winters because I'd wake up with ice on the cat water dish. You know, my water jugs would be frozen solid. That's how I was. That's how I was every day. In winter, it was harsh. Now here, I've got windows open, 24/7, because the wood stove is overkill. And you can see I didn't finish insulating upstairs. I'll show you around later.
How does that actual wood stove? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh,
I just see a big pipe coming out the back of it. I'm like, well, where does that pipe start?
Oh yeah, it comes out the back, goes up, straight up. That way I get more heat.
Is that like an ash collector down at the bottom of it or something?
It is a clean out
cool.
pan.
That makes it really easy.
Straight through. I put a bucket in it and straight through.
I see you got that guard on it. That's smart, so that way it protects, like if soot builds up and then if the soot ignites.
That guard, that's a heat shield that I made because it's too close to the wall by normal standards.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That'll work.
And the wall is always at a comfortable temperature. It never gets hot. I designed all of this. I dreamed up in my head and on paper, and then I had a designer friend of mine gave me the blueprints based on my ideas. He gave me actual blueprints. So YouTube and everybody out there has contributed to this house in some way.
Cool.
Either by comments, by donations, by physically being here, by sending me books or instructions, or yelling at me and say, "You stupid idiot, that's going to fall apart." And that has, you'll see some patch-ups up here in places that I had a constructor...
And it did fall apart.
No, I didn't, but I had a contractor friend of mine come in and fix some glitches. I had originally had planned, this was going to be absolutely beautiful. There was these two windows, and then there was two tall windows on either side of the door, okay? It was going to start about here at table height and go up almost to the ceiling. It was beautiful. So it was going to look like a church in a way. But the tall windows I had cracked on their own. They just spontaneously cracked. Whoa! Cats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they cracked, both of them. They started leaking. So we had to close that up and patch it up. I say we because John, a friend of mine, helped me a lot on the framing and on the sheathing. I couldn't do the sheathing. Those were 80-pound boards. I got the wood you see here.
Yeah.
I got for free from doing a lumber yard, which I told you about. The guy, because he felt bad because the wood was rotten, most of it, and I had thought I was going to frame my house with the wood he was going to give me, gave me a pallet full of plywood sheets.
Oh, cool.
They turned out to be made in Canada.
Is that what this is?
No, that's normal underlayment. That's a story in itself.
Okay.
But the sheathing on the house is 3/4 inch, 6-ply, exterior grade sheathing from Canada. It's heavy duty.
Oh, that black stuff?
No, that's tar paper. Underneath that is the plywood. Tongue and groove, 6-ply, heavy, 80 pounds a sheet.
Are you serious?
I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I couldn't do it alone.
So this is probably pretty darn sturdy.
It's probably bulletproof. I'm actually going to build a 1 foot square frame of my wall construction.
And shoot a Kalashnikov at it?
Well, I'm gonna start with a 22 and work my way up and see what goes through. So
that'll work. Oh, for cooling, I was just thinking, I've seen this in modern construction as well. So you wanted to do the earth tube cooling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you can just do it works best if it's in a straight line, but I guess it could be curved too.
Yeah.
So you know how the convection current works, where like the hot air escapes out the top?
Yes.
So you could put one of those things for the ventilation.
Yeah.
So as the hot air escapes, it's going to be pulling air from
That's
somewhere.
right.
So if you have like an earth cube, oh my gosh,
basically
earth tube cooling system is buried underground.
Goes out this way.
Or whichever
go this way, runs through, and up behind a couch or something, right?
Yeah, you want to put a screen on it, and you want it to be leveled like away from the building, and then go into like like those tees, and they can have like that way the moisture goes down to one point, and then you put a screen on so no bugs and critters and stuff can get in. But it pulls in fresh air constantly, nice and cold air. I don't know where a good points for.
No, I know. I've studied it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, there's a website. It has everything solar and passive heating and cooling and everything.
And in the wintertime, you just shut it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you just want some fresh air,
yeah, right.
Always open it.
Yeah. No, I've studied that. Actually, a friend of mine just got geothermal in Canada put in.
Cool.
And I got a little bit of a tour. I got to see some of the photos, how it was done. I mean, the real deal.
Yeah.
Professional.
That's a geothermal heating and cooling
Heating
system.
and
This is
cooling.
a earth tube cooling.
Yes.
What I'm talking about.
Well, I know. I it's something I've always wanted to do.
Same here.
But I can't dig here.
Why?
It's all rocks.
You just keep working at it. Well, I was able to dig a little bit, but it is really, really hard to dig here.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. You can't dig here. The garden, you should go back and look at my gardening videos with the rototiller. I would till for 2 seconds, pick up rocks. Till for a few seconds, pick up rocks. It was so bad.
But the soil back there is like black. It's really rich.
Oh, it's very rich because it's virgin soil all through there. This meadow was a potato field many years ago, maybe 50 years ago. This was a potato field. Since then, it's just sat dormant. And the all the woods around were, well, how old do you figure those trees are? 50, 80? What do you think?
100 years maybe?
Because this was logged out at one point, as you can see.
50, 80. I'm not a tree expert.
You saw the stumps and you saw the tracks from the earth moving machines back in the day?
Yeah.
This was logged out big time. I can't, I'm not good at tree age, but
I don't know either.
this is all new growth.
You can count the rings in there.
I guess. But yeah,
when
this
you drop
is all
a tree,
new
you
growth.
count the number of rings, and it's one ring per each year.
But this is all new. All this entire area was logged out. And then in the 1700s, this was cow pasture. That's where all the rock walls come in and all the borders. They were 4-foot high walls of rock, and the cows can't cross it. And it's simple. And this is so rocky out here. You can see the rocks out here.
There's plenty of rocks to get it from.
Yeah.
Well, as you're digging the earth tube, you could pull the rocks out and use it for something.
Well, true. I want to get a backhoe, because it's going to take a lot of time to do it yourself. It's going to take a lot.
How much do you think a backhoe would cost?
I've had well diggers say no. I know a backhoe. What did they tell me?
They straight up told you no for
No. I wanted to rent a backhoe. No, I can't remember. I can't remember the backhoe. I know. I found the cheapest I found is a guy will come out here for $1,000 for 8 hours, which is cheap. Bringing his own machine.
But that's still $1,000.
But then when he looked at the place, I never heard from him again. I've talked to well diggers; they've never come back.
Maybe some subscribers can come out and help you dig. I'll come help you dig. If I'm not working.
It'd have to be in the spring or the fall, because in the summer it's brutal. When you get 90 degrees and 80% humidity, you can't do it. I had a guy come out here one year. He wanted to come out here for 3 weeks and help me out, and it was unfortunately bad timing because it was hot and humid. We didn't really get that much done because you can only go out there for a certain amount of time. Then you're in rehydrating. It was harsh.
How are the mosquitoes last year?
Not as bad as the year before. They weren't bad at all. But it could be because we had the long winter. Brutal winter.
Could be.
I don't know, but they weren't bad.
I remember last time I checked, they were like swarming like crazy.
That was 2 years ago. It
Were
was
you able
terrible.
Were you able to feed all that to the chickens?
Yeah, actually, I have a tiny little. I'm going to be expanding it this
Was
year.
that the one? Was that the one that I gave you?
No, that one I had on my. Where did I have that one? Well, I had it hanging on the outside of my camper, the one you sent me, and then every morning I'd empty it out to the birds.
Why don't you get more of them and then?
I'm gonna, but I'm looking at solar ones. I've got solar powered bug zappers. They look like a dollar store light.
Yeah, but they're
light.
$80.
No, they're like $10-$20 for
little mini ones.
the small ones, little.
No.
Yeah, they're about this big around, literally, and this tall. The light part.
Is that gonna?
And the steak.
Still gonna catch?
A few. It's not much.
How are you gonna
Actually,
empty it?
I have. I'll show you the most awesome thing I ever had. I think it's in here. Yeah. I got this at Walmart for $10 last year. It's probably dead. Let me see if.
Is it for in here?
Oh, I've got no battery in it. It's an indoor bug zapper. It glows this really cool purple-looking color.
And the mosquitoes go to it?
This is the most effective thing I've ever had. I set it up at my table indoors because the gnats, the tiny little no-see-ums, they dig into your skin, they go through window screens, And they torture you to no end. They were horrible last year. They were unbearable.
So gross.
Late spring, the no-see-ums will be a swarming cloud around your body. If you go outside, they're in your nose, they're in your mouth, they're in your eyes, they're in your ears, they're on your body, they're biting. You have to wear a hat because they like to get in your hair and bite your head. That's where they prefer to go.
Are you serious?
And then you itch and burn for hours. I would set this up, shut off all the lights, and they were just zap, 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 like popcorn popping on the stove. This was great. This ran about 4 or 5 hours on a set of batteries. I used C rechargeables.
Oh, are they solar rechargeables?
Everything I have is solar.
That's
okay,
true.
so I ran the inverter and then a battery charger. But yeah, I got that at Walmart last year, by the way. Walmart.
Now for your lights, since that's AC.
That's AC.
That's AC.
That's LEDs.
And you don't have to, as far as I know, you don't have to run a pure sine wave, which is only 30% efficient. You could probably get away with a modified sine wave, which is, I think, 50% or 60%.
Actually, the pure sine wave inverters, the new
Only
modern
30%.
ones, no, they're up to like 80 to 90% efficient.
serious?
Yeah, the one I've got is a really high-end one. That's actually somebody sent me that in the mail.
Now I know for like a Class A inverter is only 30% efficient, and that's what a pure sine wave is. Now if you can do, so that does 0 to 360 degrees of amplification. Class B is less than 360. It's more than 180. So what you can do is for one part of the AC signal.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought they were like 80 to 90% efficient. The new ones, the power
I don't
inverters,
know.
pure sine wave. Now you're talking about maybe the low-end car ones. Those are junk.
Well, that's a modified sine wave. That's only like
Those are just
60 50-60%
Yeah.
efficient or something.
But the good high-end pure sine wave inverters are pretty efficient.
Huh.
Yeah. Actually, I talked to a friend of mine who's on. He's off the grid and he's running 24 volts and converts it to 12. He said I think it's like over 90%. Actually, it's Bill. It's Bill. I talked to Bill.
Oh yeah.
His inverter, his converter.
Butthead. I call him Butthead.
Well, anyway,
He doesn't like that.
You've been out there, his house.
Oh, yeah.
That's something
Number
I want to
times.
go out and see it one day. When I talked to him a lot on the phone, and his DC to DC converter is over 90%. He said, I can't remember the. And he's trying to convince me to go 24 volt.
Oh yeah, because you can double your capacity.
Yeah, well, I can use all my solar panels on that charge controller. Right now, I can only use 4 panels on that charge controller.
Because it can't handle the
I
amps.
can't handle it. But with 24 volts, I can run them all.
If you went 48 volts, you could definitely do them all.
Yeah, but then that's a whole different setup. I can't. The amount of the forklift batteries that I'm using, that would be outrageous. It would cost me $4,000 used
Oh jeez.
to run a 48 volt system.
So what batteries are you using right now?
Right now, it's a forklift battery.
I thought those went junk on you.
No, I had golf cart batteries that were junk, which, by the way, are in the RV right now, being restored as we speak.
Oh, the Bedini generator.
Yeah, that's in the RV, and that runs. That just runs. Now it goes out of me a lot. It's old, and there's a loose wire in there that I can't find, because that Bedini motor I made when I first came back to America from Germany, and I had time on my hands. I was unemployed, and I was at my parents' place for 6 months, just hanging out and enjoying freedom. Right, so I found this old squirrel cage motor rotting in the
Squirrel cage?
Squirrel cage is a electric motor with no magnets. It's an AC motor, cheapest motor around. It's just a round. I don't know why they call it that, but anyway, it's a squirrel cage motor. It's called. You got a armature with a bunch of aluminum pieces. It's round pieces of aluminum pressed together on an armature that spins inside the coils. And somehow the coils, when you turn on the power, it has a little bit of residual magnetism in it because there's a couple bit of iron windings in it, and it's just enough to cause that to spin.
Well, the magnetism comes from electricity running through it. That could be
Through the
how it
coils.
works.
And then there's a residual magnetism in the armature, and then as the coils are spinning, it magnifies, or as the coils are energized, it magnifies the armature more as it starts to spin up, and then it becomes magnetized, and the magnet is running away from the current, which is running through the coil. That's how it works. But anyway, point is, I found this old rotted motor laying in the dirt, half submerged through the years in the mud, which caused the lacquer that was sealed around all the wires to rot off, which gave me bare copper wire, magnet wire.
Oh, so you just wound your own motor.
Couldn't do it. It was bare copper wire. So I laid out hundreds of feet of wire at my parents' place and spray painted it by hand. rotated it, spray painted it.
Jeez.
Right? That worked. To this day, that thing is now 8 years old.
Up until now.
Well, it still works, but it cuts out every once in a while. Somewhere in the electronics or the system or somewhere, there's a loose wire, and it cuts out every once in a while. So I go up and give it a spin, and it keeps on going.
I still think calling Bill Butthead is pretty funny. You think about that? He's gonna be watching. Oh, you.
He's gonna see this. That's funny.
Not
Yeah,
Rosa,
anyway.
just Bill.
Yeah, right.
Rosa's an angel. Bill's a butthead.
That's funny. So anyway, those are being restored, and they're doing pretty good. I've got a forklift battery outside, which I bought a junk forklift battery, which you saw over here. Half of it is over here. I took out the good cells, and I have them sitting out here as a backup. And then I bought a forklift battery from a second-hand refurbished company. They gave me a 1-year guarantee, and that's running the house right now.
Oh, but for Bill's channel, it's our off-grid solar cabin.
Bill and Rosa offer solar.
Bill and Rosa, that's the YouTube, and then their website is ouroffgridsolarcabin.com, I think, right?
Something like that.
Our off-grid in.
Well, it's on their YouTube channel. They can find the link on the channel.
Oh, okay.
If you type in
something like that.
If you type in Bill and Rosa off-grid solar cabin, boom, they're there. That's how I find them.
Now you call Bill up for a lot of advice.
Yeah, we chat every once in a while. I mean, we talk back and forth. He drove up to New York one time and gave me these rubber mats. What he's got on his floor in his cabin.
He used to have that in there. I don't think he has them anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's done a lot of work to it.
Sadly, he doesn't come up this way anymore.
No, he's with a different company.
Yeah.
Bill's good people. I just like busting his balls.
I gotta go out and visit one day. I want to fly out and visit one day. That'd be cool. We'll make a good video.
I helped him put up some of the insulation in his house. I was there at Christmas.
You were out there a lot.
Yeah.
Just about 50% of the time I called you, you were out there.
Was it?
I don't know.
Whenever they come in town, if I wasn't doing something,
Yeah, you were over
I'd
there
go
a
help
lot.
them. Yeah.
Yep.
Soon I'll have my own place. Be pretty sweet.
Yeah, hopefully like out here a couple 100 yards.
If the location was under different laws, yes.
Yeah, the laws are terrible.
The laws are terrible. The taxation is ridiculous. But look, I mean, the land is beautiful.
The land is
amazing.
amazing.
You can't beat that land out
The
there.
resources are amazing out here.
Have they seen those blueberry bushes out there?
They laughed at me because I said blueberries. What about they counted the amount of times I said blueberries.
It's just ridiculous out
It's
there.
crazy.
It's just like
you're walking through berries.
now you don't have any more of those leaves, do you? Make tea.
Blueberry? No, not right now.
Oh shoot.
No.
Actually,
No.
I should go find some. Do you have any white pines around here?
Oh, there's a lot of cedar. I don't think there's any pines around here.
Cedar tea. Yeah.
Cedars
I love a
Pine.
tea. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Um,
I've never had it with honey pollen, so I wonder how that's gonna taste.
that would be cool.
Because I got some raw pollen just outside. I'll make some tea with Troy in a bit.
Yeah.
But I like to use it. I eat the heck out of raw honey.
Yeah, that's all I use. Well, I'm now switching to maple syrup recently, but I plan on becoming self-sufficient.
Well, you're mostly self-sufficient right now.
Not quite.
No?
I got a long way to go. I'm talking food-wise as well.
Oh, yeah, that's true. When are you going to get a deep chest freezer? Because you could put it outside, and as long as you could build a root cellar.
I plan to.
Digging's going to be a pain in the butt.
That's-
If you dig it into the side of the hill, yeah.
But it's a long walk, especially at night when the bears rolling around and the raccoons and the foxes and the coyotes and the Bigfoot.
Well, no, not if you seal it off.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
I didn't until I came here.
No.
I am starting to believe in Bigfoot.
Are you sure it's just not a troll in a ghillie suit?
They're out there too. No, I don't think so. Because something huge and heavy chased me. I had a friend here actually. I have a witness. You heard this sounded like two sticks banging together. 1 second intervals. Bang, 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 bang. 4 times. It sounded just like two sticks banging together. And then this massive heavy thing ran at us. I mean, it was you could hear the weight of it crashing through the forest at us. It was right out here.
So is Bill in a ghillie suit. He's going to kill me.
You can't go back.
Sorry, Bill.
No, I don't know what it was. It was huge, and it wasn't the bear, because the bear is a little guy. The bear he would fit under that table standing up. I saw the bear one day. I got him on video. Yeah, the bear is a little guy. So I don't know what it was.
It was a bear.
It sure wasn't a deer, and it wasn't a bear. It was not the bear. He's little. Bear doesn't bother me. The first year I was here, he scared me bad. I had my food out in the fridge out behind the house. And I heard his clump, and then I heard his roar. And all the cat's hair stood up on end. All my hair stood up on end. It was the bear. And now he doesn't bother me.
Put an electric fence around it or something?
No, he just got used to me. He doesn't come around. No, he goes around.
One thing I do whenever I go camping, and some people probably going to think this is crazy, but then there's other people that will be like, oh no, whatever. I pee to mark my territory like an animal does. I pee around like my living area.
It's
not obviously where I am, but like, you know, like I go 50, 100 feet out there and I just start peeing around the area. Mm-hmm. Get the human smell.
It's actually Survivor Man. He often does that.
He does that too.
He advises that because the animals smell your scent.
Yeah, like anytime, like if you're deer hunters know this, if my skin was to touch like bark even like that, the deer can smell it. If you go pee or use the bathroom somewhere, they know that's human scent.
Yep, and they'll stay away from that area.
So that's why I go pee around, like I mark my territory like an animal does, because they have a form of communication too.
I know.
So
I know.
You know, if it's like you're talking to a Mexican, if you're trying to speak English to a Mexican, he's not going to understand you unless he speaks English. Mm-hmm. Speak Spanish to him, or you find a middle ground. Animals use scent. So that's why I pee around it.
Yeah. But you can't pee on this property. I get in trouble. I have some people watching for everything I do.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to pee.
Outside.
And pooping is off limits. His bodily functions are forbidden. That's a joke.
Oh.
No, actually, my viewers know. My viewers know. I'll tell you the story later. Bodily functions are not allowed here. Not at all. Absolutely not. But anyway. Yeah, it's a long joke. So, we should check the fire and put some more.
True.
I got maple syrup going today. Actually, Tim grew up with maple syrup, and he's going to teach me some tricks. You grew up with a real sugar shack, huh?
Well, my uncle when we used to give tours of how to make your own maple syrup. So when I was a little kid, I'd take people out and show them how to drill, or I'd be tending the fire, and then explaining to people. And then serve them like maple tea. You know, it's basically just boiled down maple syrup that's not quite hot enough.
Okay, right.
Yep. You know about 218 degrees, right?
I will be doing that later. Right now I'm just doing the bulk boil.
That's how you know that the maple syrup is done, is water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, but when maple syrup...
It's thicker.
Yes, so you boil it to 218 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is maple syrup.
That's syrup.
If you keep boiling it longer, you can actually make maple candy.
I know. I found out.
Yeah.
I found out the hard way 2 years ago.
One of my favorite things is you take the maple sugar. Well, you boil it down to beyond candy. It's like a sugar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And make sugar cookies with it. It is unbelievable.
See, I've been putting it in my coffee. Actually, what I haven't done yet that I want to do, I'm going to take the pure maple water and boil it and pour it into make my coffee with it. It'll be really mild, but I want to try it just to see. Now, I've been drinking maple water right and left because I keep running out of water out here. I don't
There's still microorganisms in it, but I'd still boil it.
I'm still talking to you.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it doesn't. You know what?
Didn't affect your head at all?
Well, according to my viewers, yeah. No, anyway, I worked in a landscaping company once in Germany, and dirt kept blowing into my food, and I was complaining. And my boss said, "Eat it. It's good for you. It toughens your immune system." And it's true. The more dirt you ingest,
70% of your immune system's in your gut.
Yeah.
So that's why I take in probiotics, which is basically bacteria.
Yeah, right.
Bacteria culture, ingesting bacteria.
But I mean, you can toughen yourself up. That's why down in, not talking about Mexicans all the time, but down in Mexico, we can't drink the water. We'll get violently sick.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother them.
They're used to it.
Yeah. That's why. You can build up your immune system to just about anything. I mean, there's people that drink snake venom. Just because
they drink snake venom? I know they can in small doses, not water it down, but they can inoculate themselves so that they can build up the tolerance, like a lot of venomous snake keepers.
Yeah.
How do I know all this crap?
Discovery Channel. But anyway, throughout history, people have done a lot of stuff with a lot of poisons and built up their own tolerance. Like I can't remember where the story
Native
comes
Americans, they started doing to their babies, so that way, like in the swamps, so that way if they get bit as an adult, they might get sick like water moccasins, but they're not going to die from the venom.
Right. Yeah, that's and anyway, same thing here. I drink that stuff right out of the tree. Now somebody else might have some digestive problems when they do it, but me, I've been drinking it. I love it. It's great. It's good stuff. It's healthy. So anyway, on that note, I guess we'll head out there and restoke the fire, top off the vats, and if you don't mind, we'll walk up and grab some water.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these back on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I took them off for the video only because it looked goofy.
Oh yeah, this guy comes from 100 and some odd degrees to
it was
snow.
80 degrees. It was like
80
mid-80s when I left.
Yeah.
And then I kept getting out. I'm like, man, it keeps getting colder. And the further north I go, I'm like, and then it was like 19 degrees on the way up here. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm sick of it. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. And I go in to get something to eat, and they're like, are you all right? I'm like,
yeah, and they're walking around in t-shirts, right? Hey, we're comfortable.
yeah, pretty much.
All right, well, it's good to have you here finally after all this time. Tim from Tim.
Yeah, that's my name.
Yeah, that's your dad. All right, well, good to see you. And sorry, Bill, I do not have anything to do with anything what was said or done about you.
I'm just busting his butt.
All right, see you guys later.